So these two reporters, and they always pretend like they're your friend. Oh, gee, Mr. Trump. The New York Times, I call it the failing New York Times, is a disgrace. And by the way, the Washington Post, not much better. They've got 22 people on me right now. I'll tell you what, and I've always heard, if you're a very successful person, you cannot run for office, but you especially can't run for president. So the Washington Post has 22 people on me right now, 22 reporters. Now that's being run because the person that owns the Washington Post also has a big thing in Amazon, which is a much more important thing. So he uses the Washington Post for power, and he thinks that he's going to get the politicians to do what he wants, and he probably will, but me, I couldn't care less. And he doesn't want to pay, just listen, he doesn't want to pay tax on the internet. That's it. And he'll use that so that they're not going to tax Amazon on the internet. In the meantime, your department stores are all going out of business because it's unfair competition. So now he's got a threat in terms of monopoly. Now he knows I'm the only one that says it. The politicians are afraid to say it because he owns the Washington Post. So the other day I get a call. They got 22 guys. They're slopping all this stuff together, and they're going to do a book that comes out in August. Where did you see that one? So these people, are you okay? Yeah, you make sure he's okay. Make sure he's perfect. You okay? You make sure, okay? We love these people. They've been standing here for 6 hours. And that's my great World War II vet. And the people that are looking at him, they don't realize he's tougher than all of us in this room, folks. That I can tell you. So I love to call these institutions out. Now, no politician's going to do that because they care too much. Well, I care too, but I care about doing the right thing. And so it's just very interesting. Here's one other thing I have to tell you. The New York Times last week made a fool out of themselves. They did a story on the front page of the Sunday Times, the top of the fold, the most important center, a massive picture of me standing with beauty pageant contestants, right? And then they interviewed 50 or 60 people. They put a few of them in because most of them said good things. And the few of them revolted because they said, that's not what we said, that's not what we implied. We like Donald Trump. We love Donald Trump. Donald Trump treated us with respect. One of them, Roanne Brewer, got married, Roanne Brewer Lane. And I said, boy, isn't that terrible, that story? They wrote it very disrespectfully. Not very serious charges in all fairness, but they voted really very disrespectfully. And I saw her on television. And then I saw her again on television. And she was saying it was incorrect what they said. What they said was meant maliciously, and I like Donald Trump and respected Donald Trump, and he always treated me great, and you shouldn't write like that. And then I had Carrie Prejean, a very fantastic young woman who was a member and a very successful one of the beauty pageants. And I see Carrie is here right now. Carrie, we love Carrie. And she married a great athlete, and they're standing there together, and he's great. They have a great couple. And Carrie saw what was going on, and they mischaracterized her, and they said they spoke to her, and they never even spoke to her, and they wrote false stuff. And then they wrote about another one, and that was false. And then they wrote about a construction woman that worked for me, named Barbara Ress. I gave her the break of her lifetime. I let her build a major building in New York City where she was the construction manager. Probably never happened to a woman before. I gave a woman a break. My father said, Donald, don't do that. I said, why? Because he lived from the old school, you know. I said, Pop, he's going to be good. He said, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. Don't do it. I said, Pop, she'll do fine. Don't worry about it. He said, all right, whatever you want to do. So I let her do it and gave her the break of her lifetime. Then when she left, she wanted to come back because, you know, the grass is always greener. She left. Now all of a sudden she loves Trump. And for a long time she's wanted to come back, for many, many years. And she'd write, thank goodness for emails. I love emails. They never go away. Hillary, do you hear that? They never go away. They never go away, Hillary. You know, Hillary is missing 30,000 emails. I have people that will retrieve those emails. I don't think I don't think they want to find those emails. Because frankly, what Hillary has done is criminal, folks. It's criminal. And those emails do not. All right, let's get back to the New York Times. So Barbara Ress. So I gave her the break of a lifetime. She writes a book. The book is glowing about Donald Trump. And she said some strange things. She said in the book, this never came up. She said in the book, Donald Trump is not sexist. Who would say that? I mean, just out of, you don't write that. Unless you have evil thoughts, right? You don't write that. Is that correct, Carrie? Is that correct? So she puts in the book something to the effect that Donald Trump's not sexist. I said, that's a strange statement. Although I must say I never read the book until I read some passages. But it was a good book about me. But she wants to come back. So she's emailing to my secretaries or for years. Oh, I want to come back. Donald Trump is the greatest. I've never met anybody like him. He's not a sexist person. He's the greatest, greatest, greatest. Letter after letter, email after email. And then she's in the New York Times. And she's saying, oh, he's a horrible person. Horrible. And he said to me, and by the way, just so you understand, one of my men said, I read about Barbara Ress. She had the most foul mouth of any human being I've ever seen. She used to walk into a group of men and start using the F word all over. And I had to bring her into my office to calm her down. She was going crazy. All right, so you ready? So now she writes all these letters that Trump is the greatest. And now I see her in a picture. I say, oh, that's good. I'll get a good, at least somebody will say good. Because I didn't know that Carrie Prejean was going to come out and say great after reading negative stuff. I didn't know that Roanne Brewer was going to come out and say great after reading negative stuff. It was unbelievable. But then I saw this one, and I said, great. I gave her a job that no other woman would be given. Nobody. There was nobody even close. I was 25 years ahead of my time with women, okay? And to this day, I have women that are making more money for the same job as my men, and I'm happy about it. And I expect a lawsuit any day from the men. They'll sue me that they're not making it. Because we're living in that kind of a society. My men will be suing me on Monday morning because they're not making as much as the women. I don't care. I don't care. Because we're doing great with women. I don't believe the polls. I can tell, look at all the women. We're doing great with women. Women for Trump. Women for Trump. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. I think we're doing great. And by the way, the numbers with women are going up. But you know what women want to see? They want to see strong borders. They want to see strong military. Everybody admits. I think even Hillary admits, but everybody admits that what I'll do for the economy, nobody else can do. Failing New York Times. So the New York Times wants to meet. So they met with one of my guys. They had a good meeting. Didn't mean anything. You know, I think they just don't want to be sued. You want to know the truth. But these people are very dishonest. The New York Times, the Washington Post, most of the people up there. Now, some of them are fine. Not too many of them, but some of them are fine. But you have to fight back. When somebody hits you, you have to fight back. Now, with the Times piece, and you know what I said to this Barbara Ress? I said, I had friends that called me, they said, man, you're not very cool. I said to Barbara Ress, maybe you shouldn't be eating that piece of candy. That's a little different than Bill Clinton, I think, okay? A little different. Maybe. And she said, now here's a woman that used the F-bomb more than any person I've ever heard. And she said, he was obviously talking about my weight. I mean, give me a break, folks. We are so politically correct now. Our country is dying from within. We got to get back to business. We've got to rebuild our country. We've got to rebuild our infrastructure. Remember this, almost $5 trillion spent in the Middle East, and we don't have enough room to fix a road that's right outside that, by the way, I looked at just now. It's in horrible shape, okay? We can't fix our highways, our tunnels, and we're going to get it going, folks. We're going to get it going. You're going to be so proud of your country once again. So here's the story. I came here, and I'm leading in the polls. We're leading in almost every poll now. Do you believe this? It's so great. But I came here and I said, and specifically, we were in Costa Mesa. We had a tremendous rally. Who was there? Were you there? 31,000 people. Nobody even showed it because there were a couple of thugs outside burning the American flag, holding other flags up in the air. They were burning, and they were stomping on a car, a police car, stomping on it. And by the way, did you see when he got off that car? He broke his ass. Did you see that? He tried to pretend he wasn't hurt. That was adrenaline. Oh, did he hurt? Oh, was he hurt? That guy walked away. He said, man, that was pain. But all you saw was this thug and these people burning the American flag and holding up flags from other countries. These are thugs. They hardly showed the rally that we had inside, where we had the parents of young children who were killed by illegal immigrants, right? Where we had the most amazing love fest, like this, even more people, where we had the most amazing love fest. You know, a friend of mine came to me, and he came to Dallas. We had 21,000 people at the Mavericks Arena. And he said to me, Donald, can I ask you a question? How do you do this? You're going to speak in front of these people. A very big musician said, Trump is the greatest in the world without a guitar, meaning without an instrument. I got to stand up here by myself. And if I bomb, they will, believe me, they'll let us know about it. But he said to me, how do you do this? And I looked at him. This is, by the way, one of the most successful people in the country, in the world. And he looked at this massive audience like this today, and like I had a little while ago in Fresno. And he looked at this massive audience. He said, how can you get up there and speak? Do you have notes? I say, no. Do you have something? I say, no, I have like a good head. I have a good memory. I have a very good memory. But he said, how do you do it? And I said, you know, honestly, it's not hard because there's so much love in the room. It's unbelievable. There's love in the room. We want to take our country back. We want to take our country back. We're tired of being the stupid people all over the world. We're tired of it. And we're going to end it. We're going to